evening, you're watching Just the News. I'm Amita Balachandra. Straight up to our top story. West Bengal Chief Minister has expelled Minister Partha Chatterjee from her cabinet over his involvement in the massive School Service Commission recruitment scam in the state. Now, Mamata Banerjee will look after the portfolios that were held by Chatterjee at the moment. Now, he's been suspended from the Trinamool Congress and removed from all party posts as well. TMC leader Akash Banerjee has said, and I quote, "There will be zero tolerance for corruption. Investigating agency must complete the probe within the time limit," end quote. Now, the move comes hours after the West Bengal government removed Chatterjee, who has been arrested by the ED in this scam. Now, the CBI, as directed by the Calcutta High Court, is probing the alleged irregularities in the recruitment of Group C and D staff, as well as teachers in government-sponsored and aided schools on recommendations of the West Bengal School Service Commission. The ED is currently tracking the money trail in this scam. In the meantime, the Enforcement Directorate has now recovered nearly 29 crore rupees in cash and 5 kilograms of gold from a flat in Kolkata owned by Arpita Mukherjee, an aide of West Bengal Minister Partha Chatterjee. Now, earlier, the ED had recovered over 20 crore rupees from another flat of Arpita Mukherjee. They were arrested on the 23rd of July. Moving on to what's happening in the parliament right now. Both the houses, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, were adjourned today after Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary referred to President Draupadi Murmu as Rashtrapatni. Now, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary made the remark while protesting against the questioning of Congress chief Sonia Gandhi by the ED in a money laundering case related to National Herald newspaper. Now, the BJP condemned the statement and called it misogynist and demeaning to the Adivasi community as well. Mr. Chaudhary swiftly clarified, saying it was mere slip of the tongue and the BJP is, and I quote, "making a mountain out of a molehill," end quote. Now, he accused the BJP of distracting from crucial discussions on price rise, GST, Agnipath scheme, etc., for which the opposition has been protesting. Speaking to NDTV, Sonia Gandhi said that Mr. Chaudhary had already apologized. Meanwhile, 3 more MPs were suspended from the Rajya Sabha for the remainder of this week on charges of disrupting the proceedings of the House. Earlier, several other MPs were also suspended, so taking that number to 27, 23 in Rajya Sabha and 4 in Lok Sabha. The opposition has been demanding a discussion on issues such as inflation, GST on essential items and LPG price hike as well. Meanwhile, the centre informed Parliament that only 7.22 lakh aspirants out of 22.05 crore who applied for central government jobs have been recruited since 2014. Now, the highest recruitment was made in 2019-20, the year of Lok Sabha elections, even as the least number of aspirants applied that year. In other news now, the CBI has convicted both the accused in the case related to the murder of Judge Uttam Anand, who was run over by an auto rickshaw in Jharkhand's Dhanbad. Now, the 2 convicts, Lakhan Verma and Rahul Verma, were held guilty of murder as well as destruction of evidence. The hearing on the quantum of the sentence of the 2 convicts will be held on the 6th of August. Meanwhile, a shocking incident that's come in from Madhya Pradesh, wherein 30 school children were vaccinated using just 1 syringe. Now, this is a violation of the 1 needle, 1 syringe, only 1 time protocol. Now, the incident was reported at the Jain Public Higher Secondary School by male vaccinator of that school. Now, the vaccinator blamed the health department officials for the direction and also went missing after a parent raised the alarm. This is according to IANS. Now, FIR has been registered by the health department against him. In other news, a curfew has been imposed in 2 villages of Rajasthan's Hanumangarh district after clashes were reported between the state police and locals over an alleged cow slaughter incident. Nearly 45 people were detained. According to the district collector, on the 11th of July, a woman informed police that cow slaughter took place in Chidiya Gandhi village. Moving on to environment news right now. This one comes in from the state of Maharashtra. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear a plea challenging the cutting of trees in Mumbai's Aarey tomorrow, which is the 29th of July. As soon as coming to power, the Eknath Shinde-led government announced that the Metro 3 car shed will be shifted back to Aarey from Kanjurmarg. The newly reversed decision by the Eknath Shinde-led government has been criticized by environmentalists, and in fact they've been holding protest against this. The Save Aarey movement is back again. Green activists and local residents have opposed the felling of trees in Aarey colony. Now, in 2019, the Supreme Court had taken suo motu cognizance of a petition addressed to the Chief Justice of India seeking a stay on the felling of trees in the colony. On to business news. The US economy has shrunk in the last 3 months, according to the Commerce Department. Now, gross domestic product, a broad measure of price of goods and services, decreased at an annual rate of 0.9% in the second quarter after falling at an annual rate of 1.6% in the first 3 months. This has raised fears that the nation may be approaching recession. And one piece of good news before we wrap things up here on this bulletin. NGO The Ocean Cleanup has removed over 1 lakh kg of plastic from the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Now, it devised a special technology that first gathers the scattered plastic in one place in the ocean and then extracts it for recycling. Now, this is really important as the plastic turns into microplastic, which is harmful for marine animals, biodiversity, and humans. It's also one of the major causes of climate crisis. That brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for watching.